got Debbie Butt. She is the Director of Communication and Marketing and Events for Canuck Place, which is located in Shaughnessy. And some of us have participated in program or events like the Gift of Time, but we thought it was super important to connect with Debbie to understand more about Canuck Place and the impact of COVID, and get it from her perspective. So Debbie, why don't you lead off with a little bit more about what is Canuck Place for those that don't know?
Yeah, thank you. So nice to see you both. And thank you for doing this. I think I love this series that you're doing. I think it's awesome. I think it's just such a wonderful thing to do. So Canuck Place has been around. This is our 25th year. And we provide pediatric palliative care for children with life-threatening illnesses 0 to 19. So there's 765 children and families on our program. A child is on our program. A patient is on our program for an average of 7 years. Doesn't mean that they're in the hospice that whole 7-year time. They're in and out. The individual that's the family is actually providing the care for the family. And we, as a child declines and their disease changes, they kind of come in for pain and symptom management, end of life care, and we have a holistic program. They get schooling, they get recreation therapy, the family gets counseling. And so we have actually 2 hospices, one in Shaughnessy, one in Abbotsford, and we are the pediatric palliative provider for the entire province. And we rely on funding. We get about 40% of our overall funding comes from the provincial government, and Canuck Place raises the rest. So we work with, perinatal. So that's, a family that's knows in utero that something's not right with the baby is not going to thrive when it's born. And we support families through that process. And, we have teens on our program that are 18, 17, and we know that their end of life will be around 19, and we care for those. So it's a whole full spectrum. We also provide, many of our families, they come from all over the provinces I noted, and they are providing 24-hour care for high complex care for their child. Feeding tubes, so G tubes, sometimes, respirator material. And so families need a rest. They need to just chill out and let someone else look after their child. So each family is allotted 20 days per year of medical respite. And the families can stay up in our family rooms. We have 8 family rooms and 13 patient beds for the entire province.
So you've got this community of families. You obviously get to know them quite well. They come in, they look forward to this time frame. With COVID, some of the travel bans, how has that impacted your clientele?
So I think one of the big things that that we've noticed is a disease or condition for a child does not change with respect to, COVID doesn't change how the pattern of their disease or progression. So we are still providing that end of life care and the high acuity care. What we have noted is our families who are lower acuity, meaning they don't need something immediate, they don't need pain and symptom management, they are calling in, or we are going to their home and providing home care, in-home care. So that's the biggest difference. And we as an organization have taken several steps to make sure that we are admitting those high acuity kids so that we have space for those. And I think what we're going to see, and nobody can really predict, but it is going to be, our families live in isolation anyways, because they're afraid to go out because their kids are very immunocompromised. So in the best of times, in non-COVID times, they're afraid of their child's health, because a little cold that they could catch at school or whatever could really impact them. So imagine how we're at home with our kids now 24/7, and, you know, the homeschooling, all things. This is actually very much part of the lives of our families already. And now I think it's terrified.
That's such a struggle. I can't even imagine. It's like COVID 24/7.
Yeah.
For these families.
Yeah.
What can the community do for Canuck Place now? What could we ask these viewers
and I think,
to do?
you know, we've had so many amazing things happen. Like, this is the joy of COVID, right? Like, what you're seeing is people come forward and give in such kind and thoughtful ways. Our nursing team, they don't wear scrubs. We had like community come forward and bring secondhand scrubs, things so that they could wear and they could disrobe and they could follow the protocol for PPE. We've had masks donated because we didn't have a huge amount of those, and we really needed the N95s. We also needed sanitizer material, you know, just extra, and just to also provide it for our families, but also for our staff, our clinical staff. And so the community's been so generous in bringing that forward. You know, what we know is we're not going to have, you know, there's many fundraising events that are not going to happen in this next little while because of the restrictions on large groups of people gathering. And that's going to impact our ability to fund our care. And so, you know, what we, you know, we're always reaching out. Our care hasn't stopped during COVID. We continue, and our children and families need our help, and they need our support, and they need our care. So I think the way that people could give, if they have, and I know it's difficult for everyone right now because it's so unknown, but to log on to our website at canuckplace.org and give. And we have a kind of a big Mother's Day campaign that's coming up soon, and it's focused on, you know, it's telling the story about what it's like for moms at Canuck Place. Right. And what it's like to care for their child, and that would be another opportunity to give to the organization should someone feel that that's something that they'd really like to do.
That's nice. And you know, we've been ending with, oh, my internet.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. You know, there are always silver linings, and you're seeing it come through with the community. What is the silver linings you're seeing with your family and with your kids? How is that all, even in your clients too?
Yeah, I think one of the things was so beautiful and so special. The other night we had we have a gala committee, a volunteer gala committee for our gift of time. And we also have 400 volunteers for our organization, for Canuck Place. They haven't been able to come in because of COVID, right? They're missing, and they play a significant role in our ability to operate. And we just sent out a call to action. Would you like to come by and do a 7 p.m. salute, right? And, you know, here we are in quiet little Shaughnessy, and out in Abbotsford, you know, they've got this quiet little campus, and all these people showed up. And they decorated their cars, their kids were in their cars. And, you know, we told our clinical team to come on out, you know, our physicians and our nurses, and they were in tears. Aww. Like, so touched, so inspired. And, you know, in the cars, you know, word got out, and some of our families came. So our families were in the cars, and, you know, for our team, you know, our clinical team to see, oh, there's all those fabulous ladies that do all the fundraising for our organization. There's the volunteers. I miss them so much. They're always there to help us. And there's a family that I helped. I remember holding that sibling's child, you know, that sibling when they passed, or I remember caring for that, you know, helping that mom, and to see that, right? It was just so moving. And, you know, Ruthie, that's what, you know, that's what this is all but that's what this is all about. Like, you know, Canuck Place is about, you know, at the very basis, what you see every day is how much people love one another.
Yeah.
And in the end, you know, when we get into this COVID times and we're hunkered down with our, our kids have had, and we're trying to, we're thinking about our elderly, we're thinking about the young, and we're thinking about trying to keep our family whole and connected. And that's, in the end, that's all that matters. In the middle of a pandemic, like, who would ever imagine that in our time, in our lifetime, that this would happen? And what matters is how much we love one another. That's all there is in the end, right? And so, I don't know, I sometimes feel that, that's one of the magic parts about Canuck Place that you get to witness every day, but it's very much part about what we're operating in every day now. It's not always great, right? There's very difficult, very painful parts of that, in the same way that it's painful, so painful in life altering to lose your child. So it's painful also to be living at home with your kids in this tight, and homeschooling and thinking about your mortgage payments and whatever is going on for people and losing their jobs is very difficult. But if you have love and you have connection, it's going to help you get through, right? I think that's what's, yeah. And I mean, I think I have just been so impressed by our leaders, right? I mean, the women, who are leading the charge across this country to inform us about what our next steps are and what's happening, and to encourage the public to look out for one another and care for one another. I'm so inspired and so inspired by even what's happening in British Columbia. I just feel that we've done such a good job collectively, and that's, we as a community, we as citizens of this province, and our leaders have done a really, really great job, and we should be really proud. And there's more to come. Like, it's not over. But
Debbie,
yeah.
Oprah.
What's that? I'm like a mess right now. So.
I was saying that Debbie could be our Vancouver Oprah.
Yeah. But Canuck Place is lucky to have you. Vancouver's lucky to have you. You've been a giver in whatever organization you've been involved with, and do it with such grace, and you truly are a connector. So we are lucky to have you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.